From France, we've got a special guest on the phone, Brian Burrows, formerly a Spider. Good evening, Brian. Hi. Good evening, Brian.
Hi, you got me?
Yeah,
Hello,
sorry,
hello.
I forgot to put your slider up.
How you doing?
Great, thanks. Thanks for calling in. Of course, you was in Spider from the mid-70s to about 86, so what are your memories of your time with Spider?
A lot of fun. Skint, permanently skint, but just a lot of fun. We did a lot of gigs, lived in each other's pockets for 10 years, and yeah, just it was a crack, you know.
Yeah, it certainly was. I got to see you in Brighton on the Rough Justice tour, and I thought you sounded so good live, and you always seemed to give everything to the band, to the fans, and of course you were the joker of the band.
I don't know about that. We were all jokers really, but yes, I suppose Sniff and Cole were the real musicians. Robbie and I we never kidded ourselves. We were just having a ball, you know.
Yeah, we were just been talking. I got Colin Jarman in the studio with me. He's on holiday on the Isle of Wight, and we've just been talking about you throwing it to Sweeties in the audience.
Yeah. I mean, we started off playing pubs and clubs, you know, and it was just an attempt to engage with the audience and get them singing along and that kind of thing. And then obviously, once we started playing bigger venues, it kind of stayed with us, you know. And I think it was that. I think we'd always decided we'd never forget our roots, you know. We were just four working class lads from Merseyside, you know, and with no pretensions. We were no different to the guys in the crowd, really. If we weren't playing on stage, we'd have been in the crowd watching. So that was sort of where we come from, you know.
That's great. I got one question that's probably on the lips of probably all Spider fans.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry to bring this up. Any news on the reunion?
Not really. I've been talking to Rob in Oz. Rob's, as you know, Robbie's in Australia. I've been talking to Rob quite a bit about it. I don't know if you know, Rob's had some heart trouble.
Yes, I had heard.
Yeah, and it's kind of more important that he gets well than starts exerting himself too much. That's one issue. The second issue is, if I'm really honest, 50-year-old blokes playing rock and roll just isn't sexy, you know, and it's kind of getting past that. It's getting past that idea that maybe it should just be left, you know.
Okay.
You know, I'm just being honest with you. It's for me, there's a slight mental block there, you know, and singing songs that you wrote when you were 22. It's just a little bit weird, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I've been listening to these songs for years. I've gone onto an iPod now, but I was only thinking the other day, blimey, I'm listening to the same songs on my iPod what I had on my Sony Walkman cassette player all them years ago. And I sadly, or unsadly, I don't think I've grown up. Me and Colin, we went to watch a local rock covers band last night, Sabbath, AC/DC, and I haven't grown out of it, Brian.
No, well, I've got a theory. That things stick with you when you come of age. So that's sort of between, 14 and a half, well, depending on your rate of development, I suppose, but from that sort of 14-year-old through to 16, 17-year-old. I think the cars that you liked at that time, I think the music that you liked at that time, motorbikes, whatever, the film styles, that kind of stuff, it just stays with you. And, you know, I know people who are a little bit younger than me that are totally locked into that whole 80s thing with the John Hughes movies and that kind of thing. And I really do believe that it sticks with you. And although we all listen to sort of more modern stuff, it's still the stuff we like that's modern is the stuff that possibly has its roots and harks back to what we grew up with. You know, I still love Mark Bolan and the Quo and, you know, Slade and Roy Wood and ELO and that kind of stuff, which was the stuff I kind of grew up on, and then obviously, you know, carried on through to the 80s, you know.
Yeah. I've got one more question for you that I ask all my guests before you go. If we could go back in time, I got a time machine, who would you like to see live on stage, living or dead?
Oh, it would have to be the Beatles. I've just the Liverpool thing, and obviously they'd split up, you know, by the time I'd got to the age where you would have gone to have seen them. I'd like to have seen a kind of a mid-era Beatles, a sort of Revolver leading into the Sgt. Pepper era, that sort of thing, if I'm honest.
That'd be a good answer. I like the Beatles, and we do have a few people who listen to this show who like them. And we're going to play another Spider track now. We played The Morning After the Night Before a few minutes ago. And which track is your favourite Spider track?
I've got lots of them, but the Rough Justice album, I went through a weird phase on the bass, and I kind of wanted to be Sting. I know it's going to sound really weird to a rock audience, but Sting, forgetting all the other kind of stuff he did, his bass playing was superb. And there's a whole load of riffs and stuff on the Rough Justice album that it was me trying to play like Sting. And one of the tracks is a slow track, a track called The Minstrel, and I quite like the bass playing on it. So and I love Sniffer's guitar solo on it too. So I'd probably say that's my favourite at a pinch. Okay,
let's hear it then. I really appreciate you calling in tonight.
No
thanks
problem.
very much. And like I say, hopefully we'll see you soon. If not, we won't see you soon. But we still love your music, and we still carry on listening to you and playing you.
Yeah, well, keep the faith. Let's see how Robbie does, and let's see where we go, eh?
Okie dokie. Good night then.
All right, and you. Cheers now. Bye bye.
for the trial.